Coach Moo, Top Flight Sports Performance. I am in Des Moines, Iowa today with Coach Tony Douglas of Verti-GO. So, Coach, we see a lot of your videos. Plyo agility is one of the big things that you talk about. But before we get into plyo agility, what's Verti-GO all about? Why does it exist?
Yeah, so our mission at Verti-GO is to go further. So we look at an athlete, where they're at today, where they want to be, and then we help them to go further than they ever could have expected. So we specialize in athleticism. So we work athletic movements, knowing your body, balance, control, jumping, running, all the basic things that go into athleticism. And trying to focus on that key element, because that we see that as the future. The better athletes are always going to play. The better athletes, even in the past, are the ones who played. So instead of focusing so much on skill and strength, we go right to the core and say, let's just make them a better athlete.
Exactly. That's what we do at Top Flight. We worry about the speed, explosion, agility. Athleticism is really not, it's underdeveloped, it's underappreciated. A lot of attention is spent on the technical side of sport, but athleticism really is the engine that drives everything.
Yep.
Absolutely. So, before we get too deep into it, we have something in common. We're both triple jumpers, though you were a long jumper as well. So do you want to talk about that at all and how that influences things?
I mean, I always say that was my master's degree at college, was jumps, horizontal jumps, triple jump, long jump. So 25.9 best long jump, triple jump, 50 feet 10. So I was more of a long jumper that triple jumped. But that was one of my favorite events, the triple jump. But just knowing biomechanics and where do I need to be applying force into the ground, and not just thinking, oh, that guy can jump, but actually knowing mechanics and technique and how basic physics apply to all of this. It was a huge education piece for me.
Oh, I agree. I definitely think knowing how to, do the active foot, knee drive, arm blocking. There's more to jumping than just jumping. I mean, there's a lot of technical acumen that's required for you to really maximize jumps. The other thing that I really think, having a track background, metrics. In track, hey, like you said, 25.6, amazing. 50 feet 10, amazing. There's a metric there that it doesn't matter. You can be in Bangladesh, you can be in Des Moines, you can be in Ireland. At the end of the day, 50 feet 10 is 50 feet 10. Right. So, which is, great. And for me, and I know it is for you too, you improve what you measure. So measuring athleticism on a consistent basis is part of the process.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, we measure things that are outside of the box in here. So we're actually measuring. We found a way to measure quickness, and we just like I know a lot are, we measure your force production, how high can we jump, and different elements like that. So always measuring, and the other piece of that is the confidence the athlete gets from that. So you probably imagine when you hit some of your biggest jumps or you PR, that's what keeps you going, right? And that's what gets you to that next level. So when you give an athlete that, where they see that, okay, I'm putting in this work, I just hit a new PR, getting better, this is working, so I'm going to keep working, versus, I don't know if I'm getting better.
Right.
We're not testing anything, so they're less likely to keep consistently putting in that work.
Right, if you don't have a result that you can say, okay, hey, this is where I am. So, and with the metrics, I always say it's kind of like a light, it illuminates the path. You can't lean up against it, but it definitely can light the way to your next goal. So I agree. So, as his jumpers, one of your favorite hashtags on Instagram is single leg life. So, which, I'm a huge unilateral training proponent. You know that in a lot of our conversations. I guess I'll just say that we're kind of We believe in unilateral training. A lot of coaches don't even know what unilateral training is or the value of that. And for those of you that don't know, unilateral training means single leg, hopping, jumping. Every athlete, even volleyball players, have to use one leg at one point in athletic movements. Do you want to speak to that,
Yeah.
single leg life?
You should be good on a single leg. 90% of injuries happen on a single leg. It's not, we don't play the sport, in one single plane, straight forward on 2 feet. It's just not. And there's a lot of training that happens that way. So we work the movements that you're actually going to see on the field, which is a single leg. If you go watch an NFL game, or if you go watch a volleyball game even, or soccer game, you're going to be seeing athletes landing on a leg, right? Not even necessarily jumping, but landing. And repositioning and cutting, it's all happening on single leg. So you got to be good on a single leg, not just for performance, but also for injury prevention.
Oh, absolutely. And if it's not a strength, you can't let it be a weakness.
Right. Another big thing is with testing on the single leg, right? I know we both do that. You're going to have that imbalance, right? So I want that athlete to know, obviously, if you're right-handed, your left leg's probably going to be stronger.
Right.
So how do we get that? How do we get that right leg stronger? How do we start focusing on that, and also making that athlete aware? Oh man, I can act. And then also the best part about that is they can see it getting better. My right leg can get better. I mean, maybe I can dunk off my right leg now, versus always having to dunk off my left leg.
Right.
So.
Absolutely. And no, I think asymmetries are a real big issue as far as injuries and not performing to potential.
Yep.
So, no, I agree with that. And we'll wrap up with this. And I think you coined the phrase plyoagility.
Yes.
I think it's awesome. It definitely has changed how I view my training with my clients and even my own personal training. So if you haven't seen Coach Douglas jump, I still don't know how he works out in here. I think he works outside because the guy is just scraping the rafters all the time. But plyoagility, well, why don't you explain? It's your word.
Yeah. So I mean, I started doing these jumps, which we would traditionally coin like plyometrics, but really put more agility style movements with them. So I was like, this makes sense, plyoagility. So we're doing athletic movements as we're coming down into a landing position. So instead of just doing a depth jump, we're doing a depth jump with a movement with it, and then maybe putting some agility skill work. So, because to me, that's once again more realistic of what's going to actually happen on the field. If you're on the basketball court, it's not just one single jump. It's a jump and then a move, and then so you have to kind of tie these things together. I think in our training, the more realistic we can get to what we're actually doing on the court or on the field, the better prepared the athlete's going to be.
Yeah, functional fitness.
And I even like functional athleticism, right?
Yeah.
And for so long, I was talking to a coach the other day, we look at our phones, and we used to use landlines, 15 years ago?
Right.
Maybe not even that long ago. And
some people still do.
Some people still do, right? And
yeah.
If we look at a lot of the way athletes are training, it's from 30 years ago.
Right.
So I can look at this whole world and see all these advancements. Like our phones can operate what used to be like a supercomputer or going to the moon, and yet our athlete training hasn't gotten any better. Like we haven't improved this at all. So for me, it's pushing that bar and saying okay, what are we missing here? This has to advance, and the technology is here now. We're starting to really find some of these adaptations that, man, they're just giving these athletes unbelievable results. And to me, it's train like an athlete. It's do what you do on the field, on the court, and that's what's really going to push that bar.
Absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're actually going to start working out, so we'll put those clips out on Instagram and probably on YouTube. And I really appreciate your time, and win your day. Talk to you soon.